Fast and Furious 6 is genuinely one of my favorite action movies I've ever watched. It's not all about street racing like the first three films, but the movie was pure fun and heartbreaking at the same time because of the deaths of Han and Giselle. Oh, wait. Also in that year, Paul Walker, who played Brian O'Connor, tragically died in a horrific car accident. Even so, he had already filmed for about 2 months on Fast and Furious 7, and after his passing, his brothers Caleb and Cody stepped in with CGI to help finish his role. Coming back to Fast and Furious 6, this movie actually got three different video games. One was a 2D mobile version developed by Gameloft, which felt like a solid entry among classic Java era racing games. The other was Fast and Furious Showdown, released on PC and consoles, combining the stories of the 5th and 6th films. For 2013, this is such a disastrously bad game, and there were so many better games than this crap. But the one with slightly different gameplay that we are diving into today is Fast and Furious 6 The Game by Kabam. And that's exactly what this video is all about, what this game really is, and how dedicated fans managed to bring it back and make it playable again after Kabam shut it down. Before we jump in, as usual, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Our main goal is still to reach 50,000 subscribers as quickly as possible, so every single sub really helps me to get there faster. Thank you so much, and let's get started. Fast and Furious 6 The Game by Kabam came out in 2013 together with the movie. It launched on iOS on April 19 with Android following about a month later on May 25. Later, it also came to Windows Phone. The game became very popular fast and reached the top charts in more than 100 countries. Around the movie premiere, Kabam showed off the game at special events. Some celebrities got to try Fast and Furious 6 The Game early, which helped build even more excitement when the movie launched. Kabam made this game to compete with CCR Racing, which was a big drag racing game back then. Both games had the same basic idea: tap to start, change gears at the right time, and use nitro boost. But Fast and Furious 6 added something new. You could drift around corners by holding the screen. This made the races more fun and different from CCR Racing, which only had straight line tracks. It also had a story mode where you joined Dom's crew, did heist missions, and raced with characters like Brian Tetch. This story part made the game feel more like the movie and gave you a reason to keep playing. In the game, you raced on London streets. You had to time your shifts and drifts perfectly to win. There were story jobs, challenges, and online races to earn money and respect. The game used an energy system, but you could play and upgrade cars without spending real money if you wanted to. One of the coolest parts was the heist mode. In heist mode, you teamed up with the fast crew to pull off big jobs. You raced to earn big cash and unlock better upgrades while helping the team take down mercenary drivers. The graphics looked really good for a mobile game at that time, with nice 3D cars and city streets. During races, the camera changed dynamically to give you the best view. It switched angles smoothly to follow the action. The game had a lot of real licensed cars from many brands. You could customize your cars a lot, change performance parts, and also the looks with paint, decals, and other styles. One downside of the game was that it required an internet connection to play, even for the story mode. You could not play offline at all. Kabam shut down the servers on June 30, 2015, so the game is no longer playable online. Many thought this was the end, but a decade later, something unexpected happened. When an online game gets officially shut down, it usually becomes impossible to play, even with an internet connection, unless it has an offline mode. However, one of the game's biggest fans, known as WinDVD, decided to do something most people can't: revive the game and make it playable once again. It all started in 2023 when WinDVD decided to bring the game back. He grew up playing it and felt real disappointment when the shutdown message appeared. The spark that got him moving came from the 0.2 iOS developer builds from Test Flight. These builds, commonly called Terra leak in the community, were actually scraped data rather than a leak. That discovery motivated him to dive in and start rebuilding the server from the ground up. It involved months of trial and error, repeated failures, and careful analysis of the client code. Through persistent testing and refining of server responses, he eventually made the game launch and run properly. The biggest challenge was cracking the initial login process. Once that was solved, nearly everything else came down to figuring out the exact responses the game expected. Soon after, Barlas joined the project. He discovered it through a video by Jared, a YouTuber known for regularly posting Fast and Furious 6 gameplays. Seeing the server running again caught him completely by surprise, so he decided to get involved. He started as a regular player, then moved into development, first working on version 2.0.0 before focusing his efforts on 4.1.2. There, he worked hard to restore full online functionality and fix what had been broken. Barlas restored many missing features including online mode, race wars, daily rewards, elite cars, bonus boxes, and various events and fixes. He describes the current server as early access, stable and enjoyable for regular play, though updates can occasionally introduce small issues that are quickly addressed. When asked about an offline version, WinDVD was clear. Due to the game's architecture, creating a proper offline mode would be extremely difficult and is not something the team plans to pursue in the near future. Newer versions would be even more complex. Special recognition goes to Eddie Relay Edwin, who provided the original save and load system that significantly advanced the entire project. WinDVD also highlighted that Barla's long list of added features would not have been possible without the strong foundation he helped create, particularly with login systems and elite car skins. One interesting detail, running the server costs only around $1 per month, so the project can continue without financial pressure. To play Fast and Furious 6 the game, your device must support 32-bit applications as the game was originally released in 2013. Most modern smartphones only support 64-bit apps, which means the game will not run natively on current Android or iOS devices. For Android users, the recommended solution is to download vPhone OS, an Android emulator available on the Google Play Store that can run all the 32-bit games without requiring root access, though races may experience noticeable lag. For the best and smoothest experience, I strongly recommend using a device running Android 6.0 or lower natively, or Android emulators such as BlueStacks. For iOS users, you will need a jailbroken device, after which you must edit the host's file and add the following line. Older iOS devices running iOS 4.3 to iOS 10 delivered the best performance. Links to the Android and iOS versions of Fast and Furious 6 the game will be available as usual in the description below. Thanks to the determination of WinDVD and Barlas, a classic racing game is once again available for fans to enjoy. It's great to see old games that are no longer officially playable getting brought back to life by passionate fans and enthusiasts. Fast and Furious 6 obviously isn't the first. We've seen it with plenty of racing games like Asphalt Overdrive, Asphalt Extreme, even Asphalt 9, Need for Speed World, and of course, The Crew. Ubisoft took a backlash when they shut down The Crew in 2024 and did nothing to help players afterward. All they had to do was add a simple offline mode and the community would have been happy. Instead, the fans stepped up and did what the devs wouldn't. They revived the game, even made it fully offline playable. That's the kind of dedication that proves nothing is ever truly lost. If you want to follow along, I highly recommend joining their Discord server, link will be in the description. Honestly, I'm really hoping we get a proper offline mode for both Fast and Furious 6 and Legacy one day. It might sound impossible right now, but in this community, anything can happen. A massive thanks to WinDVD and Barlas for breathing new life into these forgotten Fast and Furious games. If this video hit you with some nostalgia, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Alright, I don't know who's actually gonna listen to this part, but I just wanted to share how much an emotional roller coaster making this video has been. I first started working on the video back in March. I wrote scripts, reached out to the people who helped rewrite Fast and Furious 6, and got some great answers from them. Things were moving along nicely until I hit a wall. I ended up putting the whole project on freeze, mostly because of my own laziness. At the end of May, I finally came back to work and started editing. I was actually making really good progress. The video was about 90% done. When I saw the announcement from WinDVD and Barlas that the game was shutting down in June, I was genuinely shocked and frustrated. That's why I made a quick video about the cancellation. Then, just a couple days later, Barlas came out with an update saying player numbers were rising, which meant the shutdown was off the table. It gave me a real hope again. I reached out to Barlas directly and he confirmed the game should be staying alive for a long time. Honestly, I'm so glad I never deleted the unfinished video. I was incredibly relieved, went back in, finished it, and finally uploaded. The main goal of this video is simple: to help keep Fast and Furious 6 alive by bringing in more players and showing everyone why this game is still worth playing in 2026. Huge thanks to everyone who helped with this, especially the Revival team and Ballas for the updates. That's it from me. Thank you for listening to this part, and I will see you in the next one.